All right, now let's go into, I want to teach you a few things. One, I want to teach you the apex strategy, like this gold trade right here. Okay? I want to make sure you understand this step by step. So $6,000 day, awesome. Woo! Doesn't mean you're going to get that much every day. 500, 1,000, whatever, awesome. Okay, you pull that off on a daily basis on a single contract, start pulling off more, that's fantastic. All right? Maybe you're doing spreads, so that's divided by a tenth times how many ever contracts you do. You know, so 6,000 is a $600 day. If you did 2 contracts, it's a $1,200 day. You know, less risk, less margin, a lot of benefits. We can even cut our risk down more by doing hedges. So I'll be teaching that to the elite members, to everybody. We have a webinar tomorrow, Basics of Nadex Spreads, tomorrow night. And then on the following Monday, I'm going to teach you how to hedge spreads with futures, like hedge futures and Forex with spreads. But right now, let's just get trading for tomorrow. So let's go in and let's pull up the gold contract. Let's just do this chart right here because this is the hot topic tonight. And everybody's asking about it. So let's just go through and walk through that day. We'll walk through a couple of the other examples as well that we have up on there. And, okay, so what I'm going to do, and let me just start from scratch. So if you're brand new, I'm going to File, I'm going to go to New, I'm going to go to Chart. I'm going to go down here, I'm going to choose my instrument. Okay? Now, if your instrument's not there, I'm going to have to back up for a second, go to Tools. Now, this is assuming you have CQG connected, then you have IQ feed or FXCM or whatever data feed you use. And I'm going to go to Instrument Manager. I'm going to type in GC. Or you can type in gold if you don't know what it is, but GC. And hit search. There's gold. Okay? And I add it onto my list. I already have it. It's going to tell me that. Now, let's say gold rolls over, because futures roll over constantly. Then I can just click on it. I can click the right arrow, the left arrow to update it with the most current contract. While I have GC up, I'm going to edit it. And I'm going to choose my session template to be default 24/7, so I have to do it every time I open a chart. And I'll click OK. All right? So add whatever you want to look at, add that to your charts. So maybe a start list might be the instruments that are on the diagnostic bar settings page under step 3, like 4B. Okay? So go to New, go to Charts. And yes, where is that? Just so you know. It's right here under Elite, 3, and then 4B right there. Diagnostic bar. So maybe that's where you want to start if you're a futures trader or a Forex trader. If you're a stock trader, let me know. I'll give you the settings. Okay? Either way, you need to do what I just showed you, which is add it to your list and set it to default 24/7. So I'm going to File New. I'm going to go to Chart. I'm going to choose my gold contract. Okay? So right there, click New. And then I'm going to change it to Diagnostic Bars. Right there. Assuming you've already installed the toolkit, you got your data feeds working, etc. Days, 125. Right click on it and say set default for that period type. It should already be set there, but if it's not, to set it that way. That way you don't have to retype. Notice how I didn't have to type days 125. It automatically did it. Okay? If you haven't set session template, you can put it here. You can make it default 24/7, but you'll have to do it every time. I suggest you go back and change it now so you don't have to do it again. Then go over here and choose your pattern template. Okay, there's a variety of pattern templates. They're always going to say pattern right there. Don't worry about what tick size it says or whatever, okay? They're all the same thing. Actually, this and this are the exact same, except for we have a few more things where it says tick. We were going to say probably diagnostic bars or whatever, maybe like DB instead of tick. But this one doesn't have like the velocity and stuff on it because it's minute-based. Because every bar obviously took 4 minutes. So it isn't going to help you a whole lot. But right here, like white, maybe you want, that's red, basically it's like red and green bars with white background. This is gold bars with the black background. These are, candlestick bars, like, your candles instead of your open, high, low, close bars on a gray background. These are candles on a black background. These are blue and pink open, high, low, close bars on a black background, which are really good for if you're trading at night. It doesn't matter which one you use. They're all the same. Just pick one. Okay? And whatever is pleasing to your eye. And feel free to change it up and make your own. And just rename it. Okay? So, we're going to choose that one. Pattern, 6 tick, open, eye, will close, white. And then we're going to choose OK. Now that we've chosen that, now it is going to take a minute for this chart to open. Yes, it will challenge every one of us as traders on our patience. So it's just, unfortunately, it's how Ninja works. The limitations built into Ninja, and it's just something that you gotta sort of get over. And if anything, it reminds you to be disciplined when you have your charts come up, just like you're being disciplined waiting on them, and then you'll be ready. You're on satellite. Satellite, actually, it's not the data feed coming in, Martin. It's actually Ninja loading it on your computer. So it's not your internet connection that's really going to slow this down that much. It's actually going to be your processing power, everything else. But it's not even your processing power. Okay, I mean, I have a beast of a machine. Ninja is actually programmed to use, which I don't know why, and I know Ninja 8 is going to solve this when it comes out. When that's going to come out, I don't know. It's sort of that never-ending tomorrow. But they basically uses one processor. So versus, I mean, I have, which really annoys me because I have a ton of them. Okay, I mean, to show you, I mean, I got 16 processors, I got 64 gigs of RAM. It's not about how powerful your computer is. I mean, yeah, you want ideally 8 or 16 gigs. Makes life a lot easier. Beyond that, I mean, I'm not using that much. I'm only using 14%. I'm only using 6 gigs of RAM, and I have a lot of other things open, too. I'm recording stuff right now. I got GoToWebinar up. I got Ninja open. I have multiple browser windows up, you know. So it's not just about your computer being super powerful or, you know, whatever. Okay? Does that make sense? Awesome. All right. So while we're waiting on that, because Ninja's taking it now. Also, it can be, I can have conflict sometimes when I have so much stuff open. We'll pull this up right here. And get that going. Let's see here. Let me open up the chart. There we go. Okay, I was about to just pull it. But we got it right there now. And then let's back up. Oh, look at all that velocity, man. Boom. The market just flew up. Okay. So we're going to go over here. And we need to set our bar size to be correct. So what should our bar size be? It should be 8 ticks. How could I know that? Okay, automatically. Well, it's right here. And by the way, as long as you're not... good time to grab a sandwich. Exactly. As long as you're not flipping charts like every 5 seconds, it shouldn't matter. Open it up. Open up the charts you're going to trade that day. Maybe 4 charts or whatever. Go grab a quick breakfast or bite or sandwich for 5 minutes. You know, it shouldn't take that long, but let's just say it does. Go to the bathroom, whatever, and then come back. And then you're good for the rest of the day. It isn't going to be slow after it's opened, okay? But that tells me I need 8 ticks. So I'm going to go over here, go to data series. I'm going to, just so you slow down on that, because I know some of y'all are new here. So right-click, data series, and then highlight where it says brick size there, 8. Then click OK. And then it'll load up. Should be a little bit faster, depending if you're scaling down or scaling up. So it'll actually be faster if you're scaling down because it already has the ticks in. And that will get you going. So that can take time. So it's better actually the first time you open it to do file, make sure you choose the right brick size so you don't have to do it twice. So yeah, again, right here, Elite 3, okay, and then 4B. So step-by-step courses. And because why do we have it there? Because I want to make sure you know how to use the system before you're choosing the bricks. So if it would be helpful, if y'all think it would be helpful, I could make a quick link right under here. So would that help if I added one here so you didn't have to go down to it? And if it would, I'll add that on there for you. So, by the way, if y'all have any ideas for the menu, if that's something you think that would make it easier, because we're trying to make it where it's not that long, right? But if you have an idea, then let us know. I'm all about listening to whatever y'all say to make it. I mean, it's your website. You know, let me know what's going to make it better, okay? Yeah, so it takes a moment. And let's see, what are the other charts we're going to go into as well? Because I think I have those open. Got Russell, and we got oil. So we're going to check out Russell for MVP reversals. We're going to check out oil. I just want to focus on Apex with it for you. And then on the oil trade, I think we're going to look at actually a combination of all three. Okay, 3 meaning Apex, MVP reversals, and the velocity scalps. And if y'all are interested, I'll show you the profit popper method for trading at night, because I know some of y'all might enjoy learning that as well. Okay? All right, so we got our chart up over here. Let's check it out. Let's see what happened. Okay? We're looking at the day. NFP's coming out, and things are nuts. Okay, like, you see all this right here? This is all, like, in a split second. See how they're all same timestamp? Right there. I mean, literally a matter of milliseconds. Just boom, 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 going. But we still have volume. So we actually have true volume. If you look at, like, random Renko bars and stuff like that, you'll see all the volume in the last bar. Because it doesn't have the ability to split things by bar. Okay, that's part of why this takes longer, is because we're not just piling all this volume into like this final bar. Like a random Renko bar would take all these bars, all the volume that happened in all these that have the same timestamp right here, it'd put all the volume in this bar. And there'd be no volume right here. Okay? We're actually showing the volume on every bar all the way across. Alright, so we have all that. And I'm going to pull the spike striker off for now, but one thing I do want you to see is you'll notice that you'll see those at highs and lows, like when the market's going to pull back. See that? Boom, it spikes, okay? So that's just a future lesson, but let's focus on the made easy part, all right? And I do recommend you leave it up there, or at least you add it back on, okay? So, but let me, for now, I'm going to pull it off. Just I want to clean the chart up a little bit for you. Okay, while we're going through and sort of teaching you everything step by step. By the way, you can click on an indicator and click delete, yes, and it'll just take it off of your chart versus having to rebuild the entire thing. All right? Makes it much faster. And then, so we got this morning going up. So what happens all morning long? Well, MVP's out. You couldn't have taken this trade if you wanted to. As much as I'd like to think I'm that fast, I mean, that's, Billy the Kid shooting right there. I mean, this is like 2 seconds. Okay, it's like boom, boom. All right, so it does its thing. It flies back around. And let me really zoom in so I can really just get this for you step by step. Let's say you're up at 8:30. Most of you aren't trading until 9:30. But if you were, and trying to trade right before MVP, not MVP, but NFP, you better be using our news plan and know what you're doing, because you're going to get hammered. Okay? So, now you could hedge. There's a lot of things you could do, but for now, leave news reports alone. If they're on our report, okay? Know what you're doing. Tighten your stops, etc. But right here, so it's flying down, goes in. Like I said, impossible to get that trade. I mean, it's a second. It's like boom, and it flies down, okay? So there's about 3 seconds between here and here. And then we go over here, and see these oranges? Those are red E's that didn't get filled. Okay? There's a new P that formed after the E. There's a P, and then an E, and then a new P, and then an E. Trades aren't getting filled. Now see how we have a green MVP line? This is the first rule I want you to get down. Very first rule. The MVP line, okay, this dashed line, the little dashed red and green line, needs to be the same color. Okay, it needs to be the same color as the apex for you to take that trade. So if they're red and green, which trade should you take? Should you take a long or a short? None. Okay, good. All right, that's simple. If they're both red, which trade would you take? Which direction would you go? They're both red, you'd go short. Exactly. Pretty easy. Okay? If they're both green, which trade should you take? Long. All right, cool. We got that down. So we're only going to trade the direction when they're both line up. Now, there is a rule that, if the E happens and the MVP flips within 2 bars and da-da-da-da, personally, I don't recommend you do that until you've been trading this for quite a long time, because I probably don't do over half of those trades myself. So, up front, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't recommend you do what we call the, choppy apex entries. It's basically where, it didn't line up, and then it, right here, it didn't line up, and then within a couple bars it did line up. That's... I'm not saying it doesn't work out, but it seems to me to be more like a 50-50 trade. So, yeah, better safe than sorry. Especially when you're starting out, you're more a little risk-adverse. You start having a 6-7 figure account, and you still have really good risk management, then that's one thing. But, when you're starting out, every trade's really, really counting for you. you want to go for those higher probability trades, okay? And which means you have to be okay. You have to tell yourself right now, you have to tell yourself, it's okay if I miss out on some winning trades, because I also know I'm going to be missing out on a lot of losing trades. And one of my favorite sayings, one of my mentors taught me, is I'd always wish I have something I don't. Let's have something I wish I didn't. I'd always wish I have something I don't. Let's have something I wish I didn't. So I'd rather wish I would have got in on that big trade as wish I didn't get in on that last 10 losing trades. Okay? And as you get better at reading the market, as you get better at reading volume, deviations, as you get better at combining a lot of more complex pieces together, then you can start, still rule-based. Don't, this is, I call it system-based style versus gut style. Don't, I'm just going to take that one, Then you can start going, you know what, I see this and this and this and this, so just because that line's red doesn't mean I'm going to avoid the trade, all right? But to do that to begin with is just foolish. You need to really have multiple reasons telling you to violate that, okay? So let's just stick with the real simple, if they're the same color, I take it, okay? So if you could have taken that trade, then awesome, but let's just look at reality. I want to give you a real, it's too fast. So that way you're not like, well, there's trades, but I can't take any of them. Well, okay, but it's pure velocity. That's NFP, okay? So, and you shouldn't have been doing it anyway. So, when I do get an E, so rule 1, color's got to line up. So you can write that down. Rule 1, color's got to line up. By the way, they are already written down for you. But rule 1, colors got to line up. Rule 2, where do I enter my trade? Okay, 3 ticks below the E if short, or 3 ticks above the E if long. Now when I say ticks, if you're a Forex trader, 3 pips below the E or 3 pips above the E. All right? If you're a stock trader, 3 pennies below or 3 pennies above. Or if you're trading over on an Asian stock exchange, maybe it's 3 yen above or 3 yen below, but it's the minimum increment move. Whatever the minimum thing that thing moves in, okay? And if you don't know, you can ask us. You can also just open the instrument inside of Ninja. This is probably the easiest way. That's not the easiest way in some circumstances, but I can go over here and I can type in TF and hit search. 0.1 is the tick size, okay? You could also, if you want to know for sure, you can go to the exchange website, or you can go to DOM. Just go over here, go to File, New. Oh, it's not going to open up that. Let's see, File, New. There you go, DOM, static DOM. And then just choose your instrument. So if I go over here and choose, say, gold. See how it's like 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4? Okay, so it's ticking in 0.1. All right? So yeah, so all this other stuff on the chart, there's value, but right now, I just want you focusing on the color of that apex and the color of that MVP line. Right now. That's it. Don't be worrying about what all of this means yet. Because if this isn't happening, this stuff doesn't matter. Okay? All right? And right now I'm just giving you entry and exit rules based on the actual market. So not so much the binaries and spreads. You say at the money. Are you talking spreads, Craig? Are you talking binaries? What are you talking? Because when you're saying at the money, I'm guessing that's what you're talking about. So you say, how do you know what tick size to use for each instrument? Do you mean like what brick size for the bar, Ray? Is that what you're asking? The 2 answers for you are 1, right here under step 3, it says diagnostic bar settings. Okay? And to know where did that number come from? How did I magically make it up? Okay? Then go over here, and as you go through the MVP course, one of those is actually how to come up with the bar size. I tell you, show you in 30 minutes how to know the bar size for anything that you want to trade. And you can ask me in the forum here under the support, and I will tell you whether or not you're right or wrong or what's better. Okay? So, I have people asking me on stocks. I barely trade stocks anymore. But I analyzed Ford, Sprint, and Bank of America and several others the other day for some people. And I actually put examples of that over there in that forum. Okay? So, again, we got the simplicity. Red, green, no. Green, red, no. Green, green, long. Red, red, short. Sell 3 ticks below the E. Buy 3 ticks above the E. Okay, within, I mean, really 3 bars would be your maximum that it'd have to hit. Okay, what do I mean by that? I mean, if the price comes down, let's, like this one right here, I know this, is too fast, but just to make sure you understand the example, because there'll be plenty of where everything does line up, I just want to show you, since we're right here. So what's the low of this bar? There's a couple ways to do this, by the way. You can click on this data box, right-click on it, and say always on top, or depending upon, if you have a laptop, heart-to-heart as a trader, go buy yourself a real mouse, okay? Make sure it's not a wireless mouse, because your cell phone Bluetooth will interfere with it. Get a real laser mouse. You could buy an expensive one. I got really expensive, cool Razer mouse, or buy a $10 one. I don't care, but go buy a real mouse, okay? This makes life easier. If you'll middle-click, and it makes less mistakes, and you're faster. Middle-click on the bar itself, and I have my roller wheel, the wheel that makes things go back and forth. If I click on that button, and I think Kelly posted something over in the Ninja Structure Support forum that she found out how to fix that if yours doesn't work. So you can check the forum for that. But if you go over here and you click on the middle mouse button, 1276.9 is the low. So yeah, get a wired mouse, not a wireless. So E right there. So the low is 1276.9. So if I want to subtract 3 ticks from that, it's always 3, by the way. If I want to subtract 3, what is 3 ticks minus 1276.9? Knowing that gold ticks in 0.1. What would be the price I'd go short at? 1276.6. Perfect. Okay? Now, if I had a long trade, go over here and find one. Okay? So we're over here, and let's just say we're taking this trade. And I got a high, 1289.3, and I want to buy. It takes in 0.1. What would be my buy price? 89 point. So 1289.3 is my high. So add, and it takes in 0.1, right? So I 1289.6. So if you can add 3, you can do this. Okay, we're not talking rocket science math here. Okay. Like, oh, can you put all the numbers on the chart? I'm like, do you want 1,000 numbers on your chart? Just look at it. You should be paying attention to the chart anyway, okay? It's not that hard. Just E, click, okay, subtract 3. All right? So low, 1276.9, 1276.3. That's where I'm going to go short. It has to break that. It has to hit that. Break that price right there, okay? Within 3 bars. So let's go over here. Okay, we had another E. All right, it's like A, P, E, boom, and then it flipped, so we don't have the A anymore because it wasn't an apex any longer. We have the P because it kept making higher highs on each P. But we still have the old E's sitting around so we can see them. Okay? So that E, right there, the low was 1272.6 of the bar. Now notice I didn't say the word. I'm going to repeat this, and I guarantee you somebody's going to come back and ask me this question. I'm not talking about the close. Has nothing to do with the close. If the next bar, or the next 3 bars, breaks the low by 3 ticks, anytime in the next 3 bars, has nothing to do with the close, breaks the low, I get in. I don't wait on the close. I'm not talking about closes, okay? Not about close. Just say it with me. Not about the close. All right? I'm just waiting for somebody to post. I'm sure it's going to be Austin. But but let's go right down here. So 1272.6. Did it break? Like my sell price would have been what? If it's 1272.6, what price would I go short at? So I'm giving everybody a chance to respond. So 1272.6. If it hits 1272.3, there we go. Good. All right. Did it hit 1272.3? I mean, I don't even have to look at it, do I? Like, did it hit it? I mean, bar 1, bar 2, bar 3 obviously did not break the low of this bar. Okay? Now, if you think a trade lost looking at it historically, make sure you go in and check. Did it break by 3 ticks? So William asked a great question. So once you get the E, do you set up your limit or your stop limit order? Yes. So that should be a stop limit, right? Because you'd be selling below the market. So if you're selling above the market, it's a limit. If you're buying below the market, it's a limit. But if you're selling below the market, it's a stop limit. If you're buying above the market, it's a stop limit. Okay? And so if you're using like a Ninja DOM for this, You go over here, you do file, new, you get your DOM. We might have a DOM already, right? Let's see. Yeah. Thought I opened one. Did I leave it open? Nope. Okay, so file, new, open the DOM up, and yeah, I got my demo on. I want to make sure of that. Go over here. And, in your properties, go in and make sure you have your, again, this is another reason for your middle mouse button, by the way. I like using stop loss for stop loss orders. So that's a true. I want to show my market depth, true. I don't want to show cumulative depth because you'll get confused and think there's value there. And then I want to make my middle mouse button stop market. You can say true on that as well. Okay? You could make it stop limit. It depends on how you want to set it up. There's different ways. We have videos on different ways to use it. But so if I want to go over here and I want to buy, say, 3 ticks above the market, so 1, 2, 3, and then I can put in my stop to get in. Okay? And then 1, 2, 3, I'm going to stop to go short. Now, I wouldn't do both of those, but if I was selling or if I was buying. Okay? Now, what happens if it doesn't break it within 3 bars? Great question. I cancel the order, and I wait for the next trade. That's it. So that trade is over. Okay? Now, if you're using the scanner, let's say you're trading spreads. Okay? So I was over here, or you're trading binaries or whatever, but let's just go to the spread scanner. And I'm going to have to log in. Hold on. All right, so if I go over here, and let's say I choose, they don't have the commodities open, but I'll just, they open at 3 a.m. So over here, let's say I'm trading euro dollar, okay, and I want to, buy this spread. Then I'll click on, and we got that whole course on stop triggers. Make sure you watch it. I get a stop trigger. Yes, I understand the terms. Call Apex, not Nadex if I have a question. And I go in, I'd find what is my price. So on euro dollar, let's just say my price is 1.38, we'll say 75 or whatever, okay? And then I'll say, you know what, I don't want to get filled at a worse price than 1.38 to like 85. So, and then I can put it in there, when to cancel it, and I can say activate, and then when the price gets up to that, it will automatically trigger my order and automatically get me in, okay? So just use a stop trigger as your entry. All right, so question comes up. What if it flies past, and I made it just boom, 3 ticks, and is it okay to get in at 5 ticks, 7 ticks, 10 ticks? I'll usually put in, like on my stop limit, I'll go in and I'll put you can actually put a, on your DOM trader. And that's also why I have a worse limit over there on the stop trigger. Is I will go in and put, why do I keep closing that thing? You can actually put what the offset is that you want. So they even have this built in over here. So I can go in to my properties, and one of the things is on limit orders. Let's use stop market, stop limit offset. See this right here? Set the number of ticks the limit price is away from the stop price of a stop limit entry or an exit order. Enter off to disable this feature. So you can go in, and you can say, you know what, I'll get in, like I want 3 ticks above, but I don't want to get in at more than 3 above. Okay? So, yep, still use 3 ticks on the trigger price, Thomas. On the trigger price on Nadex spreads. That may not be the spread price because you may have some option premium in there. Okay? So, maybe add like 15 ticks to the premium, because maybe it's 10 ticks off or 6 ticks off or whatever. So you may want to add like 15 to your worst limit ticks. That doesn't mean you're going to get 15. I mean, limit means give me at this price or better. So you're going to get the best price when it gets there, but you want to have a cap. I mean, if you just like do a pure market order, and that thing could fly up 30, 40 ticks in a second, and you're like buying like the top of the massive move. It's okay if you miss an order now and then, okay? So, but, 3 to 5 ticks, I'd say would be definitely your maximum stop limit offset you'd want to use, Ben, for like futures and, Forex trades. And that may mean it goes in and it's just sitting there and it oscillates. A lot of times it'll oscillate a little bit, you'll still get filled. So you may miss out on a few trades. But don't take them like when they're, 20 ticks away, 30 ticks away. So like right here, if you had an order to get in, and by the time you got filled, it was probably here. Okay, which was a solid 10 points away, which is 100 ticks. So, but yeah, so Thomas, you use that 3 tick price on the trigger indicative, and then add like 15 for your worst limit. And I'll do some separate spread and binary videos for y'all too. Okay, but right now it doesn't matter what that is. If you can't trade it based on this chart, you can't trade a derivative. So right now, just understand how to trade the actual underlying market, and then you've got to apply it to which spread, which contract, which binary, which option, whatever. So always bring it down first to this, and then add on a derivative, okay? Because that derivative doesn't matter if you can't follow this chart. All right, so all that to be said, we have two very simple rules so far. Both colors have to line up, the apex color and that offset color, okay, that dashed line. The MVP line is what I'll refer to it as, but the MVP volatile trend offset line, big long word, so I'll say MVP line. Both colors have to line up, has to break 3 ticks below the low of the E or above the high of the E if long, within 3 bars. If not, no trade. Okay? Everybody got those rules down? Is that simple? Is it simple? 3 bars. Max. So some people do use 2 bars, by the way. So 3 would be your maximum ever, okay? Not including the E. So not a 1, 2, 3. So if you included the E, you'd say 4 bars. Okay. Where is my stop loss? Okay? Actually, before we go into that, okay, so this trade did not trigger. We got that. This trade got a low, 1273.7, went down to 1273.6, didn't hit the 3 ticks, but also, why did this trade not qualify with this little orange E right here? Why did that trade not qualify for an entry? Different colors, yep. So, yeah, it would have been red and then green. And then it went on to, yes, William, it does go on to form another P. So it formed another P, and then you got another E. Didn't break 3 ticks below, and not the same color. And then you got another E. Didn't break 3 ticks below, and not the same color. Came on down, came on up. Got another E. Did break 3 ticks below. Okay? But not the same color. Comes on down. It's moving, doing its thing, and then it flips. Okay? Do you see how using that simple line, all right, with that 3-tick rule, saved us from a lot of bad trades? Trading is not about simply what you make, it's about what you keep. That is more important than anything. Because you have to keep it to be able to trade tomorrow. There are days that I will trade where I traded for 8 hours. Okay, there are days I only trade 30 minutes. Okay, but there are days where I've traded 8 hours and I have nothing to show for it. I'm down $100 or up $100. I'm talking like futures. Okay, very annoying. But if that's a bad day as a futures trader, that's a pretty good day. Would y'all who have traded futures, would you agree? Up or down $100 being a bad day is a good day? So just, honestly speaking, is that a good day? Yeah. Okay, because if you traded futures for any length of time with a decent sized account, then yeah, it's a great day. I'd say so, yes. So I'm reading off comments. I've been up and down 5-10 grand. Okay, definitely up, but down. Those are bad days. Okay, long time since I've been down that much in a single day. Long time. But I've learned, the reason I bring this up is it's sort of funny because people are like, man, dude, I sat here all day, and I'm only up $100, or I'm down $75. I can't believe I spent 8 hours And I'm like, you know what? Congratulations, because you get to come back and trade tomorrow. Okay? That's a good day. A day where you survived is a good day. And then you can move forward to tomorrow and now hopefully make some money. Because guess what? You still have money to make. Money. Okay? So don't forget that. So anyway, so we got that. We got these rules down. We saw how much money they just saved us. Okay, this is just Friday's chart. Okay? On gold right here. So going around. Now we have the apex reversal trade. Okay? It's popping on up. And before I get into the apex reversal trade, where's our stop loss? So we had this trade. Now, again, we didn't get in it because it's going to happen in a second. Okay? Stop loss, entry. Okay, both colors align. Rule 1. 2, 3 ticks below, within 3 bars. Rule 2. Rule 3, stop loss. Don't ever get into a trade unless you know what your stop is going to be. Like, how are you going to manage your risk? Never get into a trade unless you know how you're going to manage your risk. Never enter a trade unless you know how you're going to manage your risk. Okay? 5 ticks above the P. All right? If you're going short. The high of the P. 5 ticks above the high of the P bar, not the P itself. Don't go add 5 ticks to the letter P. 5 ticks above the high of this bar. So the high of the bar is 1278.7. Then what is 5 ticks? Add 0.5 to 1278.7, and you get 1279.2. Exactly. And you know what? There is nothing wrong, and you should never be ashamed. You should actually congratulate yourself for being intelligent and going in and using a calculator. Okay? So 0.7 plus 0.5 equals, there we go. You know, one of the things that annoys me, you ever go to restaurants and you get this waiter who thinks that for some reason that if he doesn't write any of your order down, you're going to be more impressed and give him a bigger tip. I don't know why I'm going to pay somebody more because they don't have to write something down. But apparently he thinks that's going to make him more money because he's impressing you. Okay? What that does to me is that makes me really concerned that this guy is going to walk away and not remember my order and mess it up. Okay? Use a calculator. Make sure you're right. It's okay. Just boom. And that's another good reason for at least having a full-size keyboard on your laptop or buying a $10 keyboard or $15 or $20 keyboard for your laptop. So you can have the actual numerical keypad on the right side. It makes it much easier to use a calculator. Or have a calculator, I guess, would be another choice. But, anyways, okay, so we got that right there. Our stop's 5 ticks above the P. Let's trail it with the MVP line. So we put it 5 ticks above, and then we're going to start trailing it right away. So we went in here, we went short. Okay? And then we got our stop right here. And then we're going to trail it on down. Until eventually it gets hit. So, did that trade make a fortune? Well, one, you didn't really get into it, but let's just say you did. No, not a whole lot. Right there. You know, it made short 1.3 points, so it made, $130. Not too bad for a single trade, okay? But nothing fantastic. But that was it, okay? And are you glad you got out? Are you glad you took your stop? Are you glad you weren't greedy? Yeah, because look at what just happened, okay? So yeah, the stop went up some. Yes, it did. Okay? So this is a volatile line. It's actually made to move up and down to stay out of the way of the market. Notice I'm not increasing my risk, okay? I'm not increasing my risk. So I'm not telling you to move your stops backwards from like your original risk. Okay? So once you get over here, that MVP line is down here. I'm going to start trailing it immediately. I'm going to be tightening it up. But I may actually increase my risk a little bit here, but never would I move it 5 ticks above that P. Okay? If the MVP line was above it, I'd wait for the MVP line to come down and catch up. So on this trade, I really didn't have to even risk 5 ticks. I could put it right there at that line, which was even less than 5 ticks. But I'm going to move it with that MVP line as fast as I can, and sometimes it will go the other way and give me a little room and keep me in the trade. So, yeah, forget basic Apex rules if you know them. Follow this. Okay? Follow this, Martin. You'll be much happier. Okay? So I start to tighten as soon as that MVP line itself is past 5 ticks below the P. So I'm getting my risk down less and less and less. Okay, cool. Now I'm at break even. Now let's see how much money I can make. Okay? I want to get rid of that risk as quick as I can. Pretty simple. All right? Now, a couple things. I'm going to add on this for you. Okay, that is the apex trade. The two things to add on to the apex trade, and let me just skip to this, and we'll go back and we'll review the day for you real quick. But right there, so we're going in, so I can continue to add on each subsequent apex, right? So every time there's a new E, if it breaks 3 ticks within 3 bars, I mean, you can go in and add on, add on, add on, add on, add on. So you can keep adding on. So, and that's what I want you to see. So, Heinz, now I promise, if you go back and do rewind, you'll hear what I said this like probably 50 times. There's no way you could have done that trade. I was using it for an example. I said it was fast. I said it was NFP. Everybody can attest to it. Watch the retape. I said it was too fast already. I said somebody's going to say this. There you go. So, it's just an example of the apex. All right? All right? So, there's plenty of trades that you could have done. But the rules are the same. Whether it's slow or fast, the rules are the same. So we can add it on here. We could add it on. This one we couldn't add it on, could we? Because look at it. 3. Let's see the high. 1291.7. 1291.8. It's only 1 tick above. Okay? So couldn't add it on right there. This one broke 3 ticks, so I could add on. So if I look at these, I can add on. That one, I can add on. You know, this one, I can add on over here. I can add on over here. Okay. When do I add on? Every time there's a new E, I can add on. Again and again and again. All right? So I can keep adding on. Because that's how you can... Now, obviously, you need to have the margin to add on. Okay? Second, many traders are more conservative. Depends upon your account size. And they decide to only add on after they move the stop on previous trades to break even. Okay? So, like, once my MVP line is past my entry price and I no longer have risk on previous trades, then I add on. That is a choice. Or you can add on immediately. I like adding on immediately because, well, you can... I mean, when you catch it, this is one of the things people don't do. Like, they scale out of their winners, okay, which makes no sense. You want to scale into your winning trades. Like, and then they'll scale into their losers, right? They call it, dollar cost averaging. Right? So add on to your entries. E stands for entry or entry breakout bar, depending on what strategy you're using. So alert, pivot, entry, and then complete. And everything I'm telling you right now, by the way, is inside of the Apex Elite MVP course. Okay? Complete. X means complete. The pattern is complete. It actually broke the high of the A. If you watch the Apex Elite course, I actually walk through it in detail for you. So alert, pivot, entry, complete. It doesn't mean you get out, okay? So, and, all right, so now one of the next things that's really important, okay? And now this was a unique day. We were adding on like crazy, but definitely make sure if you haven't already that you're tightening your stops and use more caution, okay? When you're getting trades that fire off over here, okay? When you're getting closer to a 1 deviation level. Now, some of you, that's a great question. What should I be using on my MVP setting? Go over here and definitely do this if you haven't done it, okay? Please do this if you haven't done it. Change your offset ticks. I'm glad you brought that up. Change your offset ticks to 10 ticks, okay? And we'll get that updated on the templates. I don't know how that got set, but we'll get it updated for you. Right here, let me type that in. Change that to 10 ticks. So you can leave it at 5. That'd be a really conservative level, but you'll get out of some good trades early. And pretty much all the guys I know that are really trading Apex day after day, they're using 10. Okay? When you change that to 10 ticks, it's going to take a second. It'll take a second to load. And then you want to right click, go to your template, and save over that like Apex open high low close white template so you'll have it. But we'll push that out for you too.